Hello and welcome to Dunlap High School for some Mid-Illini baseball on Clutch Sports Media. Tonight we have the 15-9 Washington Panthers taking on the 13-8-1 Dunlap Eagles. I'm Rodrigo Perez alongside Josh Messenger. How you doing today, Josh?
I'm doing pretty well, Rodrigo. It's a beautiful day here, spring day. We're out in Dunlap, the Dunlap baseball field, and ready to get it on as Washington's already up to bat.
Fly out to left field.
Pretty early hit there for Carson Williams there, the center fielder, and the first batter already retired for Washington.
Up to bat next, Gavin Lawrence for the Panthers.
That'll be down in for a strike. Nice pitching there by Jack Piper, who will get us going for Dunlap. Piper's been pretty good on the mound recently, so here comes the next pitch.
Just a little bit too low. 0-2 count. 1-0 count. 1-1 count, actually. Connects, but it looks like no one's able to get to it. We saw about 3 Eagles in the vicinity of the ball. We thought it was actually going foul for a little bit, but it stayed in. So if someone would have been able to grab that, they might have actually gotten him out.
Yeah, that was way too much confusion there. You had Ashbacker, Weeks, and Tressrider all there for Dunlap, and there was just too much miscommunication there. Ball drops in, and that's a single for Gavin Lawrence.
Good way to start off the game for the Panthers. As they're looking to get their second win against the Eagles. As we saw them win just this Monday, right, Josh?
Yep, this is the second game in the 2-game series. So that ball goes down low for a ball. Washington took the first one 3-1, so a little bit of a matchup here. That game was played in Washington. Dunlap looking to right the course and break even here on the series.
Piper trying to pick off Gavin Lawrence. Unsuccessful this time around.
Not quite. Good thought there. Lawrence had a bit of a lead over down on first, but he was able to scamper right back there. And we stand in here at the 1-0 pitch.
Just outside towards the left for Piper. And we have Elliot Seckman right now up to bat.
Seckman's already committed to ICC, so the senior will be playing baseball next year. We know that for sure. Piper throws to first again.
And another pickoff. Unsuccessful again.
Lawrence doing a good job staying alert over there.
Seckman connects, flies out to center field for Washington's second out of the first inning.
Sac fly wasn't really an option there. Lawrence was forced to stay on first. So, yeah, that fly out doesn't do much, and 2 outs already for the Panthers here in the top of the first.
Up to bat, Tyler Humphrey, the designated hitter for the Panthers.
Batting .405, which is really good. He's been quite the weapon for Washington. We'll see what he can do here.
Lawrence, again, trying to pick off. Piper trying to pick off Lawrence again.
Yeah, Lawrence is pretty light on his feet there. He stands in, and that's 3 unsuccessful attempts there by Piper. Ball was down low there. Wild pitch, and that's going to allow Lawrence to get over to second, so he does get that base eventually. Not what Piper wanted right there. Bit of a wild pitch, and that just eluded the catcher, Rapley, in number 8.
1-0 count for Humphrey. The Panthers now have Gavin Lawrence on second base.
Yes, in scoring position early. That's what Washington likes to do, score early. As part of the ingredient for their win on Monday.
Second ball, 2-0 count for Piper. Right on the money right there. Straight down the line. Piper, first strike against Humphrey.
There you go. Trying to get some good momentum here for Dunlap. Doing well so far. Still 2 outs. Lawrence on second. Beautiful day for baseball. Sun shining. Still covering most of the field here out in Dunlap.
Definitely.
Piper gets ready to deal again.
Definitely a great day for baseball. Just down below for a 3-1 count for Piper.
Piper's been really good. He did not pitch versus Washington earlier. Last time he did was against Canton, which was a shutout. He recorded 9 strikeouts that day versus Canton. And as you can imagine, Dunlap won.
Already got 2 outs so far in the bottom of the first for the Eagles. So we'll see if he can dig himself out of this hole, this 3-1 count. And he does. He's at 3-2 now. Closer to the strikeout.
It's a close one. I thought that might be a ball. That one was hooking down to the bottom left. But
the ump said otherwise.
Right, exactly. And he has a little bit of a better vantage point than we do here. Perspective slightly off.
Very true, Josh.
Piper will take it.
Bounces off, I think, the catcher a little bit. He connects a little bit with the bat, so it will go as a foul. And will remain at a 3-2 full count.
Not what you want so far for Piper. You'd prefer a couple of quick innings here. No strikeouts to his name just yet. A couple of flyouts so far gave us our first 2 outs.
And he's walking.
Down was
Tyler
a little
Humphrey.
bit high.
Tyler Humphrey walking to first base. Mr. Gavin Lawrence staying in second. Up to bat, Keegan Isbell, number 19.
Isbell already has 9 RBIs this year, and he could come up with another 1 or 2 here depending on how this at-bat goes. We have runners on first and second.
Wouldn't be a bad time to start it off right now.
No.
Connects. Dips just down below for left fan field. And looks like the Panthers are going to score first, and they do. They get a run on the board. Mr. Gavin Lawrence starts us off for the Panthers, 1-0.
And there's that RBI, just as we were talking about with Isbell. As he does make it over to first base. That was a deep left fly to left field. And bounced right before it was retrieved. Little mound meeting right here.
Mound meeting indeed. Not exactly how you would want to start this game for the Dunlap Eagles, but it's just 1 run in the first inning, so just need to calm the pitcher, just need to calm Piper down a little bit and get him out of this inning. And we got Carter Prina starting to bat. Made the catcher move a little bit to the right there for a ball.
Solid work by Rapley to not let that one get away either. With runners on first and second, don't want a couple more advancing to the next one. And that would put 2 runners in the scoring position, currently just the 1 on second.
Definitely. 1-0 count. And he connects. Got the out needed with second baseman Johnson being there in time to get another Panther out for the bottom of the first.
Yep, that chopper went right to the second baseman there, and Johnson was able to handle that easily, toss it over to the shortstop, and that will retire the first side. So Washington, though, gets that 1-0 lead, and they're looking pretty strong early. They get on the board.
Dunlap pitching, Piper actually did really well in that first, getting those few flyouts. There was that one wild pitch that made Lawrence advance to second base, but overall he kept it clean against one of the best teams in the Mid-Illini, right, Josh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Washington. Talking about the standings real quick as Vanderheit warms up. Here, head to the bottom of the first. But talk about the standings. Washington leading the Mid-Illini at 8-1. East Peoria right behind at 7-2. And those two teams kind of have a breakaway. Morton and Pekin are tied at 5-4 for third place, moving on back. So it's kind of a two-horse race with only about 2 to 3 weeks left until the playoffs start, or the postseason at least. Here for Mid-Illini play, Washington looking to make a strong run. But East Peoria, they have an important matchup with Morton that is currently ongoing, and that will go a long ways into determining what the Mid-Illini Conference will look like going forward after tonight. This is a big night for Washington. They won on Monday, looking to sweep the series here against Dunlap. And Dunlap has a good bit to play for, too. Of course, currently in fifth, one game behind Morton and Pekin for third, respectively. So they have a shot to get all the way up to that third place by the time the regular season runs out.
Definitely. It's definitely been a very, very close Mid-Illini Conference this season so far.
Yeah, East Peoria was actually leading the Mid-Illini Conference for the early part of the season, and Washington was able to sweep the series against EP last week to give them the lead overall in the standings here. And Dunlap batter coming up here to start the bottom of the first.
Now batting Davis Weeks for the Eagles. Of course, Braden Vanderheit pitching for the Panthers.
Isbell heads out to the mound. Going to take a quick talk with Braden Vanderheit. Tell him what he might be seeing before this inning gets underway. And he returns back to home plate.
Little down low for the first ball of Vanderheit's game so far. 1-0 count.
Vanderheit's actually undefeated so far in all the games that he started. He's 5-0.
Ball 2 for Vanderheit.
1.33 ERA for the pitcher from Washington. 31 innings pitched so far.
That'll be a strike for Vanderheit. Ball 3.
Not quite the start that he's wanted so far.
Yeah, he's in a bit of a hole right now. He's pitching very quickly, though. Weeks connects. Foul, though. Comes back to the fans.
Would it hit us if it wasn't for that fence right there?
That's exactly what I was going to say. Full count, 3-2. Swings and misses. From starting off in that hole, in that 3-1 hole, to striking out. What a start for Vanderheit.
Yeah, good performance there, and those were some fast, quality pitches when it was all said and done. So he was really able to get out of that jam pretty quickly as far as time goes.
Up next to pitch, Trevor Johnson for the Eagles. Swings, connects, but comes back to the fans for 0-1 count for Johnson. Strike 2. Johnson.
Johnson batting .242 on the season with .316 on base percentage, 8 hits and 3 RBIs.
Ball low to the ground, 1-2 count. Very close to Johnson's face on that one right there.
Playing with fire a little bit, Vanderheit is, but he had the room to maneuver with it, being only a 1-2 count, and that'll even it up.
Even count at 2. Swings. Flies out, though, in the foul zone. And, wow, what a catch right there.
Sliding in came the right fielder. Oh, my goodness. Jake Stewart. Quite the catch there.
What a catch from Stewart right there. Just slides a little bit and just catches it in his mitt.
I was worried it was going to be the same situation that Dunlap had over by the third base side, but over on the first side did not repeat it. Stewart came flying in there to avoid miscommunication with the sliding catch.
They were definitely ready for that one. Second out for the Eagles as Jackson Tresenritter comes up to bat. Ball one from Vanderheit as he's a 1-0 count. Connects, goes back into the foul zone.
Tresenritter's pretty good, batting .444, which I believe is the highest of Dunlap so far, so he can definitely get it done. 12 hits, 4 RBI on the season. Also a pitcher.
Another one back to the foul zone. 2-1 count. Now an even two count. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. So far in the bottom of the first for the Dunlap Eagles. We're playing at home in the Eagles nest, as we like to call it. He connects to shortstop, first baseman, in time for the third out for Washington as they head into the top of the second. Up by 1. What do you think, Josh?
Well fielded by David Weeks, the shortstop right there, is able to toss it over to first base and just got there in time. So Dunlap escapes. Washington escapes without scoring any runs for Dunlap, and Washington still leads 1-0. Beautiful day for baseball, like I said. Shadows already lengthening across the field here, taking up most of the inner diamond part. Pitcher's mound kind of has that one spot that's in the sun, so a little tough for the pitchers. Jack Piper comes back out to warm up. But, yeah, illuminating the high school, Dunlap High School in the background. Nice facility. Good number of fans here from both sides to witness some Mid-Illini baseball. Beautiful day.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Might have to get the glasses out for the shades out for Mr. Piper, as he is getting some sunlight right there. And yeah, like you said, Josh, there's a good amount of fans here. Dunlap supporters always very supportive of their teams. If it's baseball, if it's basketball, if it's football, they come out. Due up will be Lucas Price, number 6 for Washington.
Third baseman number 6, Lucas Price.
Piper starting us off with a strike. 0-1 count.
Price is sitting 244 on the season, 346 on base percentage. Has one of the few home runs the Washington has. That came against Pekin about a month ago.
That'll be fouled out to right field.
He was thinking about it. That was pretty deep, but does curve just foul.
Another foul.
Not quite as far back as the last one went, but effectively the same hit. That one went straight out to, fouled out to the right, and yeah, 2 strikes.
0-2 count. That's low and to the right for Piper.
Yeah, but Raplin's doing a better job of getting to those. That pitch got away from him in the first inning, but the last 2 times that's happened, he's been able to corral it pretty easily.
Yeah, he's not going to let much of those get past him anymore. That's a swing and a miss. I thought he was heading for the first base. But no, he definitely swung at that one. For the first out for Dunlap.
He tried to convince the umpire a little bit. Umpire wasn't having any of that.
Definitely. He tricked me. Up to bat now, Jake Stewart. The right fielder. Actually, yeah, the right fielder.
With that amazing sliding grab that he had to end the first inning just a moment ago.
Now he's up to bat. 1 count. 0-2 count. Another strike. In the danger zone now.
Stewart's batting .273, .360 on base percentage. Dozen hits on the season so far.
That was a wild pitch that just seemed to hit something. It went flying all the way up and then just came back down.
Yeah, it must have bounced off of Raplin's shoe or something like that. Or
I would guess
tip
so,
of his
yeah.
glove, because that rocketed, hit the dirt and then rocketed straight up about 15, 20 feet in the air, came right back down.
1-2 count for Piper. Ooh, that almost hit Stewart right there. I think it was very close to his head.
A little bit of a course correction there from those couple of throws that he had down to the left. Went up to the right so far for the right-hander, Stewart.
Connects to shortstop. Weeks as he throws to first baseman, but gets away from him. Stewart still running to second base, and he's going to stay there.
And that's the first error of the game for Dunlap right there. That overthrow at first base by Weeks. Going to let Stewart turn what should be a fairly routine play into a double.
It was pretty close, Josh. I feel like Stewart had gotten there. I feel like he would have been safe. Whether Diver would have gone into that ball or not.
Luckily for him, though, throw came just a little bit wide and was able to turn it into a double.
Braden Vanderheit up to bat now. Down low, ball 1.
Talked about how good Vanderheit is at pitching. He's also pretty solid at batting, too. Batting .250, 4 RBIs on the season, 7 hits. So Vanderheit can get it done from either end of that pitching lane.
Very good player on both sides of the pitch. That strike for Piper as it's a 1-1 count now. And a strike. 1-2 count with Jake Stewart up in second base.
This was a really nice sequence of events there for Piper. Kind of turned and got Stewart pretty fidgety, got Stewart to move back towards the bag, and then turned and fired a laser fastball right there to deliver a strike on Vanderheit. Good work by Piper.
Connects up to center field. Jake Stewart running the bases. Might get home. And he does. He gets home just in time.
Easy score there for Washington. They pick up their second run on that single there by Vanderheit, and that's another RBI. That's his 5th on the season.
Up to bat next, Carson Williams, the center fielder.
Had a fly out on his first go-round.
Definitely did. He was a very anxious batter. He was just trying to hit at everything very early on. It was like one of the first 2 pitches that he flied out. So, look at that again. He commits again. Unfortunately, a foul this time. 0-1 count.
So here's something pretty interesting that I've noticed, is that we're right next to 4th Street, which is right behind us on the right field baseline. And the cars, because the sun is so low, when cars drive by, the shadows off the cars is actually moving across the field right between the batter and the pitcher. So that's going to be something interesting, as that's a strike.
Very interesting, Josh. I had not noticed that, but you are totally right. We'll see if that plays a factor at all.
I noticed it when a semi came through a couple minutes ago. But, yeah, the pitcher's mound now is in complete shade. The home plate is a little bit half sun, but that kind of stretch in the middle is kind of sunny. So interesting if that trips up the batter a little bit here, if we get the right timing with the car passing.
0-2 count. Swings. I think that one almost made it to the street right there.
Speaking of 4th Street, Piper said, "I don't like the cars driving by annoying me. I'm going to annoy the cars."
Exactly. 0-2 count for Carson Williams. Tries to pick off Braden Vanderheit. Not successful, though.
Yeah, only man on base, Vanderheit over at first. So Piper has the more of some freedom to be able to do that.
Very high and wide for Piper. So now it's a 1-2 count.
Lots of cheering coming from the stands.
Lots of cheering and Carson Williams staying alive here. Goes out just to, and yep, that's it. Carson Williams does not make it to first base.
It's a good job again by Weeks to be able to get on there. The Vanderheit, the runner, was able to slide into second right before Weeks got there, so he didn't turn the double play. But yeah, over at first, Williams was able to get out. Weeks beat him with the throw.
Yeah, it kind of popped out to that center field line towards second base, and Vanderheit did a very good job of trying to get to the second base as soon as possible.
Yeah,
but
2 outs now.
But right now we got Gavin Lawrence up to bat.
Lawrence had that single last inning. He takes the ball down low. Had that inning, that single last inning that really got that Washington momentum going. Already, of course, Washington scored one in the bottom of the second right here, or top of the second, excuse me. But he was able to get that going.
That's a high ball pop fly to, that one's out of here. It's out. It's out, Josh.
That is quite the explosive performance there from Gavin Lawrence. That's his 5th home run on the season.
Another one as Braden Vanderheit also makes it past.
2-run home run right there for Lawrence. And that's going to give Washington the 4-0 advantage early here, as Lawrence has a bases clearing smash out to center left.
Great power hit. We've been seeing a lot of home runs here at Clutch Sports Media recently, in reference to the Morton Pekin game we were at a couple weeks back. Now we got Elliot Seckman up to bat. He's now 0-1.
And that whole sequence happened with 2 outs as well for Piper. So not liking what he's seen so far. Already allowed more runs today than his last 3 pitching starts combined.
Another connection to left-hand field. Oshbacher just misses the ball. Almost got the out at second base, though.
That throw was a little wide, too. Lucky that Seckman didn't go ahead and take advantage of that and move to third base. But, yeah, back in deep left. I think the sun had something to do with that because the sun is really beaming down out to the outfield. It's got the infield mostly covered, but that outfield, especially if you're in left field, it's kind of tough to see there. So Seckman with a nice double.
Definitely. I can definitely see Munoz out in center field with his shades on. I can see a bit of the reflection. Up to bat, Tyler Humphrey, as he fouls out. Well, not fouls out, but puts a ball in the foul area for the 0-1 count.
He got walked by Piper last inning here. He wouldn't mind doing so again. It's Piper trying to get out of this jam here with 2 outs in the top of the second.
Ball down low, 1-1 count. With 2 outs to go.
And Humphrey's been batting .405, .488 on base percentage. So, just like we saw with that walk, he may not hit all the time, but almost half the time he winds up on base.
Another ball down low, touching the dirt for a 2-1 count now. Piper trying to get out of this inning definitely with the 3 runs that he's already let in with 2 outs. So all he has to do is Just get a couple more strikes, and he's through, at least for this inning. Swing and a miss.
Good pitch there. Was able to kind of cut that one down low. Looked like a slider to me. And, yeah, Piper draws it even. That's what you're looking for. 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 balls in the top of the second.
Taking a good look. Taking a good look at Elliot Seckman. And he's out. Strikes out another one.
Second strikeout of the game for Piper. First and third outs were both strikeouts. In the middle had a little bit more trouble. Washington scores 3, now up 4-0. Here's we head to the bottom of the second. And this Washington team, Rodrigo, we've been talking about. This Washington team is just on fire recently. They've been doing really well. Obviously won that game against Dunlap on Monday, but even before that, they've been doing pretty well. Struggled against Springfield, but before that, they won, looks like 6 of their previous 7. Springfield, a pretty tough team that they
one of the best.
had trouble with.
One of the best, yeah.
Yeah, had trouble with over the weekend, so that was a little bit of a tough matchup for them. But swept East Peoria last week to move into first in the standings. Obviously won against Dunlap. Off to a great start so far. These Panthers are not, nothing to sniff at right here. Washington, the consensus favorite here for the Mid-Illini Conference moving forward. And playing like this, you can see why.
Definitely. They've definitely had a great start, especially big thanks to that home run by Gavin Lawrence.
Yeah.
Now we have Dunlap up to bat, and we're going to see a little bit of what they can do coming up right now. Up next is actually Caleb Diver.
Diver was pitching on Monday. Surrendered 2 of Washington's 3 runs, before Ryan DeGilinardo. Ryan DeGilinardo took over in the 6th inning, let in 1 more. But he'll be up to bat here, the first baseman.
And that's a strike for Vanderheit as he tries to keep the things clean for the Panthers in the 2nd inning. It's a hit, and this one might be going out as well. Oh, not enough, as Seckman misses it a little bit.
Still a double, though, and that's not an altogether bad result there.
Not a bad result at all.
Diver will take it.
And that's a little bit of the response that we were looking for Dunlap as they head into the later stages of the game. Haven't scored yet, but definitely have the chance. With Graham Malcolm up to bat. 1-0 count.
Malcolm, one of a couple seniors here for Dunlap's team. Batting .360, .477 on-base percentage.
Next up to, just missed the ball for Lucas. And he might be, look at that.
No throw at the plate. That one chopped, and Price, the third baseman, couldn't get a hand on it for Washington. And that is going to allow Diver to score off that double. RBI double for Graham Malcolm, the designated hitter, doing what he was called up to do. And Dunlap's on the board.
Just a way to start off for Dunlap. No outs. And Drew Ashbacker up to bat. Wild pitch advances Malcolm as he's now in third base.
Yeah, that one was way high, and the catcher Isbell never had much of a chance to get to it. That's going to move the runner over to third, well in scoring position here. So Dunlap coming right back here off of Braden Vanderheit, best pitcher on Washington's team.
Lucas just clips the ball right there. Almost had it. Seckman having to run towards it. And they almost got him Got him out with Peters in second base.
And that scores Malcolm anyway. So another double, another RBI double for Dunlap, 4-2.
Really the response that Dunlap was looking for after that top of the second where they let in 3. Now we're looking 4-2 with Jonah Wyman up to bat. Connects to first base. Carter takes it easy for the first out.
Still going to bring Ashbacker over to third, though. So yet another runner in scoring position for Dunlap.
Max Rapplian up to bat for the Eagles as they look for yet more runs. One 0 count. That ball is out to left-hand field. Sackman with the grab. I think it was dropped, though.
Another run gets in for Dunlap, so they're coming right back. 3 runs already. As Rapplian had a nice RBI single there, so just RBI's hit after RBI hit here for Dunlap as Munoz comes up now.
Center fielder, Munoz for the Eagles. Looking to tie this game up. That ball is high. 1-0 count for Vanderheit as he tries to get out of this inning with the advantage for the Panthers. Connects to right field. Stewart with the grab. But Max makes it to third base.
Yeah,
Runners on the corners now.
Munoz is able to get in there to first there, and yeah, like you said, runners on the corners. No run scored there, but that's going to force a mound meeting by Washington. Going to get Kyle Wisher out there to talk things over with Vanderheit.
Looking to tighten up things a little bit. They had a 4-0 advantage going into the bottom of the second, and now it's starting to dissolve as we speak.
Looks like they're going to leave Vanderheit in here for now. Can't quite see the bullpen from here, Rodrigo, so
No, we can't.
Likely someone warming up, but can't tell you who.
Davis Weeks up to bat now.
Still only 1 out in the inning. This is not what Vanderheit has wanted to see.
Fly out to center field. Williams grabs it for the second out. With Max looking to, Gabe Munoz looking to run to second base. Retracting that, though.
Yeah, well, that ended up being a sac fly, regardless there, by Williams. And so that does score Rapplian. Or Munoz, I'm sorry, you're right, Munoz. And that ties the game. There we go. Scoreboard gets updated. So, yes, 4-4 tie game.
Trevor Johnson up to bat. 1-0 count. 2 outs. Tied game.
Good sack fly there last time for Weeks, and yeah, we're just gonna keep sending him up here. Johnson back up, almost made the full rotation around here, batted around the order. Second baseman now takes his turn.
Wild pitch, and Davis Weeks will capitalize on it.
Yeah, no throw there by the catcher, as we've seen quite a few wild pitches here to start this game. Isbell decided not to toss it over to second, and well, stop me if you've heard this story before. We got another runner in scoring position, as Williams has made his way over. Not Williams, pardon me, Weeks.
Swing and a miss. 1-1 count as the Eagles try to take the lead in this one. Down low for a 3-1 count now.
And Johnson certainly got the Dunlap bench hooting and hollering over there. They're looking to take this lead, and that would be quite the statement if they did.
Hard hit to just grabs it. Stewart grabs it for the third out.
Good catch there.
Stopping
by
the
Stewart.
bleeding for the Panthers as we head into the top of the third. And who would have guessed that? 4 runs in the second inning for the Eagles to tie this game up?
Yeah, sure enough. We preach about how Washington has been doing really well this year, about how they were able to win game 1. They look strong, obviously scored in both the first and second innings, had that home run by Gavin Lawrence. Dunlap, they just kept plucking away at the lead, singles and doubles, RBIs across the board. Nothing tremendous, but they were able to tie it back up. And we basically have a whole new game here entering the top of the third.
This is the Eagles' nest of Dunlap, and they're actually really good at home. Their home record is 8-2, so they're definitely strong in the nest. They're actually coming from a 2-game losing streak, losing against Washington this Monday and against Normal Community last week.
Yeah, that game was a little bit tough, but they swept the series against Canton the week before or last week, and also 1-1 on Galesburg. So Dunlap's hanging in there. Like I mentioned, they're 5th in conference, but they have the opportunity to move up to 3rd, depending on how these next couple of games go. This batter comes up for Washington, and yeah, you never know. Dunlap putting in a good effort so far, but we still got 5 more innings to play.
Keegan Isbell comes up to bat, the catcher for the Panthers.
He had an RBI single in the second inning as part of that scoring streak that they went on.
That's a strike. 0-1 count. Start off the third inning for the Panthers. Swinging a hit. Pop fly, potentially not enough. Catcher Max Raplian was looking for it. Didn't have enough to try to catch that one. But
yeah, Raplian didn't realize that was still in the yard. He thought that one had gotten fouled way too far back, but you could see the pitcher Piper was running in, waving his arms, telling Raplian to turn around and go get it, and Raplian was just a little bit too late on the draw, so that one does drop. Foul ball, but could have been an out.
Another hit to left-hand field. And he goes good for first base. Diver not able to get Isbell out. Up next to bat, Carter Prina. And we have another mound meeting for Jack Piper as Eric Stone tries to get his boys out.
We're going to have a pinch runner coming here for Isbell over on first, and that's going to be number 20, Garrett Cox, who has only come up to bat, had 2 plate appearances on the season, but scored 12 runs. He's quite the effective pinch runner that Washington puts in when they can, and well, we know he's fast, so he could potentially score this game back open for Washington, depending on how things go here.
No change on the mound. Carter Prina up to bat. No outs. Down low for ball one.
Prina had a ground out in the second inning, but that was the one that advanced Keegan Isbell over to third and was able to get Washington one of their runs. So looking to do something similar here for Cox, the base runner.
Ball two.
The shade has completely covered the entire field at this juncture. Maybe just a smidgen over in center left that might affect Ashbacker, the left fielder. But otherwise, we're completely in shade and good to go here. So no more cars going to be interfering as Piper looks to deal again.
3-0 count. Piper in the hole early on.
What's interesting about this matchup so far is that Piper and Vanderhyde are arguably the two best pitchers for either side. So we were thinking coming in, we were talking pregame, it might be a little bit of a pitcher's duel here to see who can get the most strikeouts. And, you know, we were thinking runs were going to be precious and hard to come by.
First strike for Piper.
Yeah, that's
trying to dig himself out of this hole.
You're right. That's in there for a strike. But we've seen quite the opposite. 8 runs scored in the first 2 innings alone here, and the potential for more here in the third.
No absence of scoring in this game so far, as Raplian gets a little talk with Piper. Try to calm him down a little bit. He's on the right track. 3-1 count. No outs yet. And Isbell on first base. And he's walking. Carter Prina up in first base with Isbell taking residence in second base, excuse me.
Second walk for Piper so far. He walked Humphrey in the first inning. Losing the handle just a little bit, it looks like.
And now up to bat, Lucas Price. Not a bad situation for Washington right now. Runners on first and second base. No outs, especially. Still early in the game, third inning.
Yeah, Price could get a nice sac fly in here or something like that.
Goes for the bunt. Don't see that quite often. Unsuccessful, unfortunately, as it goes into the foul zone.
Just dribbled out foul, you're right. And, yeah, Piper was ready for that one, though. He came tearing right there. He was going to have a good shot at making a play on that ball if it was fair.
He was feeling that one. He was real close.
Looked up, and it was like he teleported from the mound over to the first baseline.
There'll be a ball as Price looking for the bunt still. You don't see that quite often, Josh, in baseball at pretty much all levels.
No, it's tough to pull off the bunt just because you got to get it. You've got to put it in the right position to where you just don't get thrown out. They don't turn to double play or something like that.
Yes.
It takes a lot of skill to do that. But when you use it effectively, man, is it good because you get yourself into first and you advance all the base runners as well.
2-1 count. As the ball is thrown to Johnson up in second base.
Tried to pick off the runner there for Dunlap. Couldn't quite get there.
Isbell as he makes his way around the plates. Another bunt from Price as he's out. First base. First out for the Eagles.
Well, there you go. Did just about what you wanted to do there if you were Price. You got the bunt. You didn't get safe yourself, but you advanced Cox to second and Cox to third and Prina over to second. Now 2 runners in scoring position, second and third.
Up next to bat, Jake Stewart, the right fielder. As we saw in the first inning, that incredible almost like he was falling, diving, and he caught the ball. Very good play.
Got Washington out of that second inning, too. Made the third out for them as well with that fly out to right.
Ball 1 to start off.
And Stewart had one of those doubles for Washington in the second inning. It wasn't an RBI, but was able to kind of get that wave of momentum going for Washington. And has a good chance of doing something here with runners on second and third.
1-1 count, even at 1. And, yeah, it's looking very favorable for the Panthers so far with runners on first and second base.
Still only one out.
I apologize. Third and second base. Both in scoring position.
Yeah, 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out so far. So certainly a chance for Stewart to do something. Even a sac fly would go a long ways.
2-1 count. As Piper having a little trouble finding a strike zone in this inning.
Yeah, Piper only allowed 3 runs total combined in his last 3 starts, and already allowed 4 so far. Still time to right the ship here.
Swings, connects, comes up to the chain link fence that we got.
Yeah, fouled straight back. Good crowd here so far from either side, like we mentioned earlier. You notice that the grandstands are divided very evenly into Dunlap fans and Washington fans. No intermingling going on here.
Oh, yeah. Got to keep them separated.
Can't cross the center.
Swings, but goes to the foul area again.
That was quite the shot, but yeah, luckily for Dunlap, that one did go foul. Otherwise, well, Stewart has a chance to do something pretty special there.
2-2 count for Jake Stewart. And a repeat of the last pitch, another foul.
Stewart has 4 RBIs on the season, and could easily get something else going here. Like we said, already doubled in the last inning, and Cox taking a lead over on third. Price taking a lead out on second. Certainly could happen. Prina, rather, not Price. Price just bunted out. Names are too similar for me.
Up to right-hand field. Wyman not able to grab it. Has to retract a little bit down the field. It's 2 runners. Make it past.
Stewart.
Lucas Price.
Stewart
Carter
makes it
Prina.
to third. Look at that. Great RBI triple there. 2 RBI triple for Jake Stewart. And yeah, Wyman just kind of lost it in the sky. It looked like couldn't quite get there in time. And that gives the Washington the 6-4 lead.
Panthers back on top as Braden Vanderheit comes back up to bat.
And Vanderheit had an RBI of his own. And with Stewart in scoring position on third base, could get another.
Swings, connects to center field as he flies out. Munoz.
Throw came too late, though. Stewart was able to tag up and scamper on home. 7-4 Washington.
Washington continue to push the scoring up a little bit. 7-4 as we head into, actually, as we're in the top of the third. 2 outs for the Panthers.
Yeah, that was the second out right there for Vanderheit, but got another RBI with that fly out to center right.
Ball 1.
And bases are finally empty for what feels like the first time in a while. So we'll see if Piper can take advantage of that and get out of this.
I'm sure Piper was feeling a bit of that suffocation by having so many Panthers around him. Swings to shortstop. Drops it. And he just lets Carson Williams take a little bit of that.
Nearly a good play there by Weeks, but man, Weeks has been gotten a lot of balls hit his way. Made some good plays. Had a nice throw out to first earlier, but just was able to kind of fumbled that one a little bit. and allows Williams to move on over to first.
Gavin Lawrence now up to bat.
Had that 2-run home run. There's a strike. 2-run home run in the last inning in the second, which really put Dunlap back into this. Washington, excuse me. They gave Washington that good run of momentum. Got my teams mixed up again. Happening a little too often than I would like.
Swings to right field. Wyman grabs it for the third out. The Panthers leave the top of the third with the advantage, 7-4.
Yeah, three nice runs there by Washington, and then the fly out by Lawrence ends it. But they had some good momentum. They were hitting just like Dunlap was hitting, some, chipping away here and there. Had some great plays. Stewart obviously with the 2 RBI triple. Puts Washington back up front. And Washington hasn't engaged in too many shootouts thus far this season. Certainly not in conference play. So it'll be interesting how both teams can hang on here moving forward.
2 3-run innings for the Panthers, as the Eagles look to get some more runs of their own to even up the scoring once again.
Washington had a run-heavy game a couple weeks ago, April 21st against Glenwood, and they lost that one 13-10. But man, that one was back and forth. It was all over the place, lots of runs. Felt kind of similar to what this one feels like so far after 2.5.
Yeah, they definitely have the experience of playing in games like this that are so run-heavy, and we'll probably be looking to see what they can do a little bit farther down the line as we head into the top of the bottom of the third.
Now batting third baseman number 2, Jackson Trisenreiter.
Jackson Trisenreiter batting for the Eagles. Vanderheit a little low with that one. Ball 1.
Trisenreiter had a ground out in that last, his first at-bat. Third baseman looking to get something going here. Batting .444 on the season.
Strike 1 for Trisenreiter.
Trisenreiter is also a pitcher here for Dunlap. They throw him in from time to time. 3-2 when he's on the mound with a 3.34 ERA. Not doing any pitching tonight.
Ball 2. Yeah, he definitely can play in a multitude of positions. He's one of those utility players that you can really put him wherever you want, and he'll do a good job. Fouls, and this one does make it to the street for the 2-2 count.
You got 4th Street coming up a lot more often than I would have anticipated here tonight's game.
Definitely. We even saw a home run head to the school. What initially looked like a line drive actually was foul. So now it'll remain a 1-2 count. Ball 2 for Vanderheit.
Sun's completely gone at this point behind the horizon, so lights are on. Moon is out, as you can see right over left center. It's like almost a full moon tonight.
Almost a full moon, yes. Very
Close,
true.
maybe another night or two.
Ball up. Just enough for Stewart to grab that one and get Trisenreiter out as he flies out to right field for the Eagles' first out of the third inning.
And now here comes Caleb Diver, who really got that momentum going with a double in the bottom of the second.
Yes.
Last time out.
Bit of a wild pitch right there for the 1-0 count.
All's well that ends well. No runners on base to leach over to the next one. So no harm, no foul for Vanderhyde.
Yeah, Keegan definitely knows that one as well. Now it's a 2-0 count.
Zipped foul, that one. Way out to left. It looked like that Sackman in left field was going to have a shot to get there, but went a little far.
2-2 count. Even. That's Caleb Diver. Tries to get some more. It's this one. Almost out on first base. And, yeah, he actually is out. Second out for the Eagles.
Good play there by the second baseman right there. Yeah, they got hit straight to Peters, who zipped it on over to Prina at first base and was able to get him.
As Vanderhyde keeping it clean so far in this third inning.
Two outs with Malcolm up to bat.
Yeah, Graham Malcolm batting for the Eagles now.
Had that RBI double last time.
Strike 2. Putting Vanderhyde in a position to breathe a little more as he's up. Swings, catches a little bit. Enough for Keegan to pass to Carter for the third out of the inning.
There we go. That looks like traditional Washington defense right there. 1, 2, 3. 3 up, 3 down for Braden Vanderhyde and the Panthers. And just like that, we're on to the top of the fourth.
Vanderhyde definitely kept it clean in this inning. And it's been a great game so far. What about we take a little break right now, Josh?
Yeah, we'll take a break. Be right back to action here at Dunlap. Washington leads 7-4.
And we're back here at Dunlap High School. 7-4 game. Washington leading. Top of the fourth inning. As we have Keegan Isbell up to bat now.
Yeah, Washington a really good top of the fourth there. 1, 2, 3, and yeah, like I mentioned a minute ago, it's exactly what you're looking for if you're Washington. Finally settled into that rhythm after letting Dunlap get a handful of runs in the bottom of the third. So Washington looking good here. Bottom of the second, excuse me. And
yes.
Washington looking good here.
Correction, it's actually going to be Elliot Seckman up to bat.
Now batting left fielder number 4, Elliot Seckman.
Seckman had a double the last time he was up. And the ICC commit is going to get us going here. Batting .304, 514 on base percentage is the highest that Washington has, second highest rather, on their team.
Double in the second inning.
And 10 RBIs on the season.
Ball 1. First strike for our new pitcher, Dante France. Fouls all the way back.
Probably heard that one.
We definitely did hear that one.
Right on the roof of the, or right on the bleachers here.
Dunlap bringing France. The junior. So he has a 1-2 count right now. Even count at 2. Top of the 4th. Washington looking to add some more insurance runs to their 7-4 lead.
Yeah, we'll see how France does. Eric Stone making the decision to pull Piper. Decent decision after Washington scored 1 run, then 3 runs, then 3 runs in the first 3 innings.
3-2 count now. Full count. We'll see what Sekman will be able to give us.
Yeah, 0 outs on the board. Full count to Sekman.
And he's walking. He actually almost gets hit. He has to do a little bit of a dodge right there to get to first base.
Yeah, France lost the range on that one just a smidgen and allowed that one to skirt up into the left, which for the left-handed batter Sekman nearly resulted in him getting hit, so he'll assume first base.
Up to bat now, Tyler Humphrey, number 7, the designated hitter. High and wide for the first ball. France taking a good look at Sekman over there in first base. That's a strike. 1-1 count.
Humphrey hasn't had a lot of success so far. Walked in his first inning and got out in his second. So he's been on base 50% of his at-bats so far.
Completely new pitcher, though, so
exactly.
we'll see how they fare against France. Swings. Comes back for a foul. 1-2 count now.
Yeah, there will be at least an inning or so for the Panthers to get used to France, the new pitcher. Hasn't pitched a terribly lot this season so far. France has 3 hits on the batting side, but pitching-wise hasn't seen too much action so far.
Again, high and wide for ball 2. Now we're even at 2.
Yeah, and this unknown quantity is while Washington currently ducking out of the way with a couple of these pitches that have nearly hit the batters.
He's a little cool. He has to get some pitches under his belt.
Yeah, got to warm up a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. 2-2 count. No outs. Sekman on first base. Now it's a full count. Again.
He had a really nice strike to open up this batting sequence for Humphrey. But since then, France has let a couple of balls in a row just get a little wild on him.
And that's a strikeout from France to Humphrey for the first out for the Panthers.
There you go. Gets it right back.
Sekman advances to second base.
Yeah, he went running, and he was able to get in there before anyone had a chance to do anything about it. So runner on second.
Keegan Isbell up to bat now.
Pair of singles so far for the catcher. One of them was an RBI.
Not bad with the potential of sending Sekman to back home, so extending the Panther lead. Raplian going to talk to his pitcher, France. Not a mound meeting, just a little talk.
Just a quick chat.
Just a quick chat, exactly.
Just going to give France a little bit of reassurance. You know, hasn't done a lot of pitching. Obviously, the nervous situation facing the best team in the Mid-Illini Conference. So, yeah, just take some deep breaths for France and settle back on in. And you'll be fine. Just focus on what you know in practice, hit the fundamentals, and won't give up too much.
Shows the confidence that Eric Stone has in this young gentleman, of course. Wild pitch. Sekman advances to third. And that's where he's going to stay.
And that was a ball by France, but that wasn't corralled really well by Raplian. None was able to kind of get bounced away from him over towards the Dunlap dugout. Allows Sekman to skirt over to third base. Washington threatening to score again.
Only one out, 1-0 count. Connects to left-hand field. Will Ashbacker get there in time? Not a home run, but Sekman's going to get back for a home. Get back home for yet another run.
Yeah, RBI single there for Sekman.
Now batting first baseman number 12, Carter Prina.
Isbell, pardon me, not Sekman. We were talking about Sekman a little bit earlier. RBI single for Isbell there. Third single of the night, and that'll score Sekman, who was on third base.
Up to bat now, Carter Prina. Last time out, he had a walk.
And grounded out before that. So, yeah, Washington leads 8-4. And, man, Dunlap got that lead that the Washington built up all back in one fell swoop. Washington inching out again.
Washington definitely a lot more consistent than Dunlap, scoring at least one in each of their 4 innings so far, with France now with a 1-0 count.
Yeah, Dunlap went down 1, 2, 3, 3 up, 3 down in the first, got those 4 runs in the second, and 3 up, 3 down in the third. So we'll see what they can do in the fourth momentarily.
Connects, comes back to the stands.
France has got to get out of this top of the fourth first, and already let in a run with a runner on first, looking to do the same to Prina.
Only one out. No, 1-1 count. As Prina looks to advance some runners. And Isbell gets picked off at second base.
What a throw there by Raplian. Saw the runner going and fired that one laser right over to the shortstop. Weeks was able to get him right at the base. And just like that, 2 outs.
Yeah, the pickoff and 2 outs. Not a bad way. And that's a strikeout. Even better for France as he gets out of this one with only 1 run.
Yeah, allowed the run, but 2 strikeouts in the process. So France with a fairly successful 4th inning, you'd say. And we'll move on to the bottom of the 4th. Dunlap due right back up.
Eric Stone definitely made a good call right there. Bring France up to the mound. As he's looking to revert this 2-game losing streak that they had coming into this game.
Yeah, we've already harped on how important this game is moving forward. Only a consistently dwindling number of games left for all these Mid-Illini teams. So each one going to be more important than the last as far as how you enter the playoffs. And, well, let's just say a win against the currently number one ranked Washington Panthers would do Dunlap a lot of good as far as that seeding is determined moving forward into the postseason.
We're definitely heading into the tail end of the season now, Josh, as we head into playoffs. And one of the interesting things is this game completely different to what we saw on Monday. It was a 3-1 loss for the Eagles as they went to Brian Wisher Field up in Washington, and this game already 8-4 heading into the bottom of the 4th. So very different game.
Yeah, Dunlap just got the 1 run in the 5th inning on an RBI by DeJolinardo. They already have 4. Washington only got 3, a couple in the 2nd, 1 in the 5th, and they're up to 8 so far. Washington hasn't scored more than 8 runs since April 15th against Streeter, so they're getting it done today so far. Ashbacker coming on up for Dunlap to lead us into the bottom of the 4th. We'll see what he can do.
Had a pitching change for the Panthers as well. Vanderheit not on the mound anymore. Number 21. That's a ball 1. Connects up to center field. Williams just in time to snatch that one for the first out for the Panthers. Well, for Dunlap, as they're the ones batting.
Yeah, Malcolm will fly out. And it is still Vanderheit on the mound. Tricked us a little bit with the warm-ups, but yeah. He's
Is
still
it?
out there.
You're right. I had him as number 9 for some reason, but he's actually number 21.
Lawrence is number 9 and arguably Washington's best batter, so you got two of the most proficient players regardless. Easy to confuse one for the other.
Out to right-hand field. Grabbed it again. Stewart, another one for him. As that's 2 outs for the Eagles.
Yeah, Wyman flies out right after Ashbacher did. And that brings out Raplian. Brings up Raplian.
Not a bad way to start the inning for Vanderheit. 2 flyouts. Strike 1 for Max Raplian. As he's batting now.
Had an RBI single in his first plate appearance.
Hits it. Flies and bounces. Carter, I think, didn't have too much control with that one. Luckily, Raplian did not decide to keep running because he could have, because that ball was in a limbo state for a little while.
Yeah, this sent the first baseman diver into appropriately, or the first baseman Perina into a little bit of a dive there, trying to come up with that. But yeah, it'll keep Raplian over at first for another single.
Up next, Gabe Munoz, center fielder for the Eagles, as he looks to tie things up again, to being down by 4. Up and almost had it. Sekman almost had that one.
It's quite the
Not
dive.
Sekman, Lucas. Lucas almost had that one.
Yeah, Price, he came over and it looked like the wind yoinked it back just a little bit at the last second because it looked like Price had it very well located, but he dove at the last second.
Definitely.
And couldn't quite come up with that one. Foul ball, regardless. Munoz stays alive.
Single in the bottom of the second. Looking to maybe get something similar to that right now, or maybe even better. It's another ball for Vanderheit.
Raplian's still over on first base. He didn't have a chance to advance, so just one on first base. With 2 outs.
Fouls again for a 1-2 count.
Man, Raplian had quite the head jump on that ball right there. He was already halfway around second by the time that he finally stopped to turn back around.
He was definitely ready to take his position in second place. Second base.
A little fortunate for Washington that was a foul ball, and Munoz is still at the plate because otherwise Raplian would have been scooting around.
He gets him out for the 3rd out. Carter with the successful handle. As the Panthers get out of this one clean for the 3rd inning. Not in a row, As we saw in the second inning, they had 4. They let Dunlap score 4 at least. And now we'll see France come back up to bat, seeing if maybe he can keep things a little clean as we head into the later stages of this game.
Yeah, we'll see. Washington's just, aside from that 4-run second inning, has been playing Washington baseball, more or less. 5 runners in that half inning right there, and 3 of them out. No runs scored. So still 8-4, and Washington looking to pad that lead here as France does come back up. And France, he had a couple pitches that got away, but at the end of the day, he only allowed in 1 run and got 2 strikeouts. So
Yeah, he definitely had his first few pitches where he had to warm up a little bit. He was a little cool, but he definitely started picking up the pace a little bit, started hitting that strike zone well. And yeah, we'll see how he fares in this next inning. Top of the 5th.
and he looks comfortable right now throwing it out to Rapley and the catcher in warm-ups here. So I'd expect a solid outing here from France.
Definitely 2 strikeouts in his in the last inning, of course. As now, Lucas Price starts things off for the Panthers.
And Price would love to get on base right here because Jake Stewart is due up right after this, and Stewart has a double and a triple so far today. So if Price could get on to the base right here, that would be really helpful for the Panthers.
Ball 1 to start off the top of the 5th.
Just a little bit low, but, you know, honing in on that strike zone.
Hits it, fouls to the right-hand side. 1-1 count.
Price had a strikeout and a bunt that moved some players around, although he got out in the last inning.
That one's called a strike. As it seemed, Price did not very much agree with that one. 1-2 count. Looks like he might have hit a little bit, but he's out on first base.
Yeah, spit that one just a couple feet out into the game of play, but Rapley was able to sling that one on down. Get the out. 1 away. So France getting it done.
Jake Stewart up to bat now. Saw him get walked last time up bat in the 3rd. That's a ball, 1-0. Connects, fouls for the 1-1 even count.
And Stewart's been, well, you had that home run by Lawrence, but aside from Lawrence, Stewart with that 2 RBI triple has been the most impressive batter thus far for Washington. Pretty good basketball player, too. Was on that really good basketball team that made a good run in the postseason. Looking for more magic here.
It's another strike, 1-2 count. Very comfortable position for France. Not so comfortable for Stewart, though. Another ball. A little down low to the right for a 2-2 count. 1 out. No one on base. As the Panthers look to put up some more insurance runs. They are up by 4, and this might just be it. High out to right-hand field. But Wyman secure there. Secures the 2nd out for the Dunlap Eagles.
2 up, 2 down, so 4. And that's going to bring up Vanderheit. But an RBI single, and then he had a sac fly in the last 2 innings ago. And so we'll see what Vanderheit can get going here.
Player who can definitely get this done on both sides of the field. both on as a pitcher and as a batter, as that one goes a little high for a 1-0 count. Two-0 count for Vanderheit as he looks to continue the good fortune of the Panthers heading into the later stages of this game. High for a 3-0 count now. France in the hole.
Completely dark at this point, so conditions are pretty much fixed for the night. No more sunlight to maybe distract some batters or anything like that.
Floodlights on as we head into the later portions of this game. That's a strike. France starting to dig himself a bit out of that hole. 3-1 count. 2 outs. Top of the 5th. Swings and misses. 3-2. Full count. What a way for France to just dig himself out of that 3-0 count.
He's been getting it done a little bit, not quite as you would want it to.
Swing and a miss.
But there it is,
to
right there.
get us out of the 5th inning as Dunlap keeps it clean. And we'll look to get some more runs on that board to try and get them back tied up.
Yeah, that's France's 3rd strikeout, and more importantly, that keeps Washington from putting more runs on the board for the first time in the 5th inning. They'd scored the previous 4 innings, but Washington gets held here, and I think that's the swing and momentum that Dunlap kind of needs moving forward here.
Yeah, this has definitely been a great game, Josh. 8-4, very cagey in that first few innings. Washington just a lot more consistent, getting runs in every single inning except this past one. And Dunlap only able to score the majority of their runs, actually all of their runs, in the bottom of the 2nd. So we'll definitely see if Dunlap's able to put some runs in the bottom of the 5th to hopefully give the Eagles a bit more hope heading into the later stages of this game.
Vanderheit back out now to warm up, so they're going to leave him in. And, yeah, aside from that 2nd, he's had what's been a pretty typical Vanderheit type night.
Definitely.
2 strikeouts to his name so far.
Fans sticking around for this one. Definitely a good show they're seeing tonight.
Yeah, a good number of Panther fans here made the trip. Peoria metro area, Washington's basically the opposite end from Dunlap. Got to go about 15 minutes northwest from downtown Peoria to get out here to Dunlap. Got to go about 15 to 20 minutes northeast to get to Washington. So a good number of fans here from both sides. Some good representation for solid night here for Mid-Illini baseball.
Not basketball, Josh. This is a little bit different.
That was a couple months ago.
But now we have Davis Weeks due up for the Eagles. Vanderheit getting us started nice with a strike. 0-1 count. Not a better way to start this off.
Strikeout and a sac fly so far for
Strike
Weeks.
2. Davis Weeks swings at it. Doesn't make contact. And already Vanderheit looking for that strikeout. Bit of a wild pitch. Just goes between Keegan's legs for the 1-2 count. And he's out. Didn't swing at that one, but he is out regardless.
Vanderheit is feeling himself now. Another strikeout there for number 21. And, yeah, if you're Dunlap, got to be feeling a little bit nervous because this is exactly the kind of pitching that you don't want to see from Washington.
Vanderheit definitely on a roll right now. After that surprising 2nd inning where he let in 4, He has not let in any more. So he goes for another strike as Trevor Johnson up to bat. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. 0-2 count. Looking for a second strikeout of the inning. This one might be 3 up, 3 down, Josh. Swing and a miss. Strikeout. Another one for Vanderheit as he's just been on fire so far.
Yeah, 7 pitches so far in this inning. Strike, strike, ball, strike, and then strike to Weeks, and then just 3 in a row here.
Up
Getting
next.
Johnson out of there.
Up next, Jackson Tresenreiter. Swings, fouls to the right-hand side of the field. Heard quite a reaction from the fans right there. I wonder if they saw something that we did not. Again, same spot.
Off to shallow right there.
0-2 count. 2 outs. Vanderheit
foul.
getting it done. Again, right-hand side. Foul.
Well, Vanderheit got 3 strikes without contact right there earlier to Johnson, and now with Tresenreiter. Got 3 straight foul balls. Strikes of a different kind.
Vanderheit definitely doing a good job and not giving much to feed on from the Eagles. Hits it. Bit of a jump catch from Carter, first baseman, as he gets him out for the 3rd out of the top of the 5th as we head into the bottom of the 5th? No. We were in the bottom of the 5th as we head in to the top of the 6th.
Yes, we are.
Clock is winding down for the Eagles, Josh. They haven't been able to do much. They've kept it clean last inning. They have not been able to put much runs up on the board. You got to start wondering, what now?
Yeah, Washington, again, textbook right there, right? Another 3 up, 3 down inning. Doing really well. Vanderheit didn't surrender much of anything. And, yeah, Washington coming right up to bat. Washington bats have gone a little bit cold themselves. Obviously, France was able to keep them out of the scoring column for the last inning, the 5th inning. We'll see what Washington can do here.
Definitely looking to get some more insurance runs. They are up by 4, 8-4.
I was going to say, with the way that Vanderheit's pitching, I'm not sure they need much insurance at all.
Exactly. Dunlap hasn't really been able to generate much runs after their 4 runs in the bottom of the 2nd. After that, bats have gone a little cool. 3 innings with no runs. I think was that 2 consecutive innings with 3 up, 3 down?
Not quite. I believe there were 4 batters in the 4th inning for Washington right there. But
Third
for all intents and purposes, no runs scored. So Vanderheit did exactly what he needed to do.
Carson Williams up to bat again. Last time at bat, got a single. That was back in the 3rd, of course.
.294 hitting this season for Williams. .368 on base percentage.
What a start from France. 0-2 count already.
France has put in quite the nice run here. It's been pretty impressive watching him just slowly kind of hone in on that strike zone. And he's been getting it done.
He had a little bit of a shaky start, but he seems comfortable now as he strikes out Carson Williams.
4th strikeout of the game for France. And keep in mind that Piper, Dunlap's best pitcher, only got 2 in the handful of innings that he was up. So France with some quality work here.
Coach Eric Stone definitely knew what he was doing with that play. That's another strike for France as Gavin Lawrence up to bat now.
Lawrence with our only home run of the game, which came earlier. That was his 5th of the season.
Bit of a wild pitch. Ball gets a little bit out for Raplian. No runners, so no worries.
No harm, no foul. If you're France, that's the perfect time to experiment, try to find something. Didn't quite stick. Dropped a little bit low.
Swing and a miss. 1-2 count. Already 1 out on the board for the Panthers. As France, Dunlap pitcher, looks to continue his good streak going and keep it clean. Another bit of a wild pitch gets away from Raplian. For the 2-2 count now. Flying high. Enough for Johnson to pick that one up for the 2nd out for the Panthers. As we heard a little bit of that, of those dugouts. Very enthusiastic.
Oh, yeah, they're feeling it. Dunlap excited to have some quality pitching going on right here for France, supporting their young pitcher. And Washington looking to get something going here, but so far 2 up, 2 down. Number 24, France.
To bat Alex Sekman. That one's high and wide up to the left hand of the batter's box for the first ball. 1-0 count.
Sekman was walked last time he came up, but before that had a fly out. Had a double in the middle.
That's a strike. 1-1 count.
Fans starting to bundle up here a little bit. Temperature dropped back under 60 degrees, so getting a little bit cold. No wind to speak of.
It's a swing and a miss. 1-2 count.
France is grateful for the lack of wind. Lets him do his job a little bit better. Fans getting into it.
Lack of wind, lack of sun now that we got the floodlights on.
Just about perfect conditions that you could want for baseball.
Definitely. That one very close to hitting Sekman, as it's now a 2-2 count. 2-2 count with 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. Swings up to third base, up to first base. Johnson to diver. 3rd out for the Panthers. As the Eagles get out of this one clean again. France doing a great job, honestly.
Yeah, that's about all you could ask for Dunlap. Washington, of course, has their lead 8-4 still as we head down to the bottom of the 6th. And only 2 more chances left for Dunlap. So defensively, they've been able to put the kibosh on Washington's bats. But, of course, now they got to come up with some offense of their own. Got to start producing. And we know they can because they found that spark against Vanderheit down in the 2nd. Another 4-run inning. That ties us back up 8 apiece. So Dunlap certainly has the potential here. Just got to get off to a good start.
Exactly. They figured out the Vanderheit puzzle there in the bottom of the 2nd. They just haven't been able to figure it out a bit heading into the rest of the innings. But, yeah, they definitely have a good chance with France giving them 2 scoreless innings for the Eagles to try to generate some runs heading into the late stages, very late stages of the game.
Caleb Diver going to come on up here for Dunlap to start the bottom of the 6th inning. A double and a ground out so far for the first baseman. We'll see what he can do. Obviously that double, a good indication that he can get something going here. And he has a .341 batting average so far. 60 RBIs to pair with 44 strikeouts as a pitcher. So Diver, a pretty well-rounded individual, and we'll see what he can do here as he approaches the batting order. Vanderhyde getting ready for a 6th inning of work. They've certainly gotten a lot of mileage out of him tonight. Looks like the home plate
umpire talking a little bit with the Dunlap coach, Eric Stone.
just making sure everything's okay down there.
Not exactly sure what they're talking about, but home plate umpire's mask is off now.
He's walked about halfway down to first base, maybe a third of the way.
Third of the way, yeah, I'd call it that.
Yeah. Looking over at the pitcher there. Vanderhyde.
Now Keegan going to Vanderhyde. Get a little bit of a chat.
It almost looks like Prina, first baseman, is still warming up a little bit, which is interesting. He's still tossing the ball around, even though the diver was already up at the plate. So I wonder if Prina, a little something going on with his arm, just kind of trying to stretch it out or something. Tough to tell.
Definitely, especially as we're heading into the bottom of the 6th inning.
And that would support what the head ump was doing when he looked down to first base, kind of over in Prina's general direction, as well as Coach Kyle Wisher. His diver just wandering around, bat on his shoulder, waiting for his time at the plate. It's Vanderhyde now in conversation with the head umpire.
Switches balls, and as we start getting ready for the bottom of the 6th inning. Great location for a baseball field. Right next to the football stadium, right next to the high school.
Right next to the road, as we already discussed.
Yes, right next to the road as well.
Yeah, Dunlap has some nice facilities here. Looks like they're going to give Vanderhyde some more time to warm up. Perhaps after Prina's time to warm up, they allotted Vanderhyde a little bit more time, is what I'm thinking. A couple more pitches here.
Yeah, you'd think a guy who's pitched for 5th inning doesn't really need much warm-up to do, but
You would think, but he got in about 4 or 5 more experimental tosses there to Isbell, and here comes Caleb
Diver. Yep.
Caleb Diver, excuse me, yep. And we'll get this underway.
That one's far wide for ball 1.
Well, that warm-up wasn't all that he'd hoped it would be, as it was nearly a wild pitch. It was a good job by Isbell to corral that and keep that within reach.
Swing and a miss. 1-1 count. As Caleb Diver caught swinging on that one. Another strike. 1-2 count. Caleb Diver not in the driver's seat anymore on this one. Swings towards the Eagles dugout for ball. Not a ball. For a foul. 1-2 count. No outs. Bottom of the 6th inning. Second ball.
That 1-2 count afforded Vanderhyde the opportunity to play around a little bit with the throw, try to get Diver caught swinging, but that one went a little too far up and to the left.
Full count, 3-2. That's one of the things that Vanderhyde's been doing really well in this game. Has definitely been his changes of pitch speed. We've seen him pitch very fast. We've seen him pitch a bit slower. As this one goes to the left-hand field, Williams tries to dive, can't get to that one. As Seckman picks it up, and Caleb Diver heads to second base.
Well, well, well. Second inning, when Dunlap was down 3-0, or 4-0 at that point, Diver got a double, leadoff double, to get it rolling, and Dunlap ended that inning with 4 runs on the board. Does the exact same thing here down in the bottom of the 6th. And that's going to bring up Graham Malcolm.
Actually, it's Adrian Nava who's coming up, number 5.
Good catch. Thank you.
Strike one for the new batter, as this is the first time we see him out.
And Diver was scored in by an RBI double last time in the second inning.
Wild pitch, and that advances Diver to third base.
Now runner well within scoring position for Nava.
Swings and misses. 1-2 count.
Nava batting .280 on the season, .393 on base percentage, 6 RBIs, and a great chance with 0 outs on the board to get another one right here.
With Diver on third. Another swing and a miss. That's a strikeout by Nava. His first time up to bat. As that's the first out for the Eagles.
And Vanderheit will take care of business right there. His 4th strikeout of the night.
Drew Ashbacker now up to bat. As he gets hit by that pitch. And he'll be walking. He's rubbing a bit of his head. Might have gotten the helmet. Coaches, assistant coaches, heading over to check to make sure that he's all right.
Yeah, I didn't quite see the pitch. I looked down right when it happened, but obviously those kinds of hits are never what you want to see, regardless of who you are in baseball. So,
yeah, it caught a little bit of his helmet, right side of the helmet. I think it even flew it off of his head. And, yeah, looks like he's all right. He'll be able to continue in this game.
yeah, he'll stand in at first. Corner's loaded up here. It'll cue up Jonah Wyman.
Jonah Wyman coming up to bat. 1 out for the Eagles. And runners on the corners.
First hit by pitch by Vanderheit on the game.
Strike one. Looked a little wide to me, a little outside the box, but the umpire said otherwise.
Wyman had a single and a flyout in his first 2 appearances.
Swing and a miss. But Oshbacher in second base. Good running by Oshbacher, getting to second base.
2 runners in scoring position now for Dunlap, and they're threatening.
Very good position, especially just being down by 4.
And only 1 out.
That's a ball. 1-2 count. As Wyman looks to get a couple of his fellow Eagles back home, too. Oh, that's a hit to center field as Williams catches that one confidently. No one brought home for that one.
Yeah, both runners held up at second and third base. So fly out by Wyman, no damage done for the Panthers, and they'll get out number 2 so far. So Vanderheit with a good chance of getting out of this jam he's put himself in here.
Definitely, and now it's Max Raplian coming up to bat for the Eagles. Swing and a miss. Strike one.
Raplian's had 2 singles on the day, one of which was an RBI single. He's batting .320 on the season, .452 overall.
A hit to center field, and Williams catches that one. Cool, calm, and collected for the third out for the Panthers, for the Eagles actually. As we head into the top of the 7th, final inning for the Eagles to do something, as in my opinion they could have really scored in this one and try to bring some back as they are down by 4. Quite unfortunate that they weren't able, as they had 2 runners in scoring position. They don't have much time left, Josh.
Yeah, Dunlap squandered a little bit of an opportunity there. 2 runners left on base, both in scoring positions. That's a tough pill to swallow if you're the Eagles, especially knowing that you had such a great second inning. It looked like it was going much the same way, but Vanderheit was able to get in there with a couple of nice outs to close it out for the Panthers, and Washington coming right up to bat. Obviously, France has been pretty good on the mound, but that gives Dunlap just 3 more outs to try and work with to try and come up with 4 runs here to tie.
Next up for Washington, they're actually playing Rochester, the 15-8 team. It's another 7 p.m. game, another late game. This time it's at home at Washington. And for Dunlap, their next game is against the Springfield Senators, which Washington knows them very well as they dropped 2 of their games earlier in the season. It's a home game, 10 a.m. on Saturday. Early Saturday game. Must be fun for a high schooler who has to wake up early on that day, but that's the student-athlete life, I guess.
And then next week they have a big pair of matchups against Morton, does Dunlap, so that'll be pretty important for them.
Number 7, Tyler Humphrey.
Washington's going to match up against Canton and then Bloomington this weekend.
Tyler Humphrey up to bat for the Panthers as they look to extend their 4-run advantage here in the 7th inning, top of the 7th. So that's a ball for France as he gets us started here.
Another ball there. That one nearly hit Humphrey right there. France has got to settle in. He's okay. Just got to make sure you get out of this inning without inflicting any damage, which he's done a really nice job of the past couple of innings. And he can do it again.
Swing and a miss, it seemed, but it might have gotten a little bit of the bat as it goes back.
Might have just barely tipped it and did dribble out foul a little bit. Results the same.
2-1 count. That one's a swing and a miss. 2-2 count for Humphrey as he looks to inflict some more damage.
And France is really good at coming back from these negative situations that he's put himself in. And another one right here, 2 balls and then 2 strikes to follow it up.
That's a 3rd ball. Full count. Will France be able to get out of this one?
As for Humphrey, he has not been able to reach base on his own so far.
Swing to the left hand field, but for a foul.
A walk, a ground out, and a strikeout thus far for Humphrey, who did fall victim to one of France's strikeouts a little bit earlier in this game. He's already seen the Eagle and looking to do the same thing here.
And that'll be a walk. A walk for Humphrey.
Second walk of the game. That puts the designated hitter on first.
Now batting catcher number 19,
Keegan Isbell up to bat now as the Eagles take a little mound meeting. Eric Stone trying to get a little chat with his pitcher, France.
Particularly with Isbell coming up. Talked about Jake Stewart obviously had those explosive plays, the home run for Gavin Lawrence. Isbell has been up to bat 3 separate times, and he's had 3 singles in a row.
Very consistent hitter, definitely. Eric Stone got a little chat with. Couldn't really see who it is. Number 21, Braden Vanderheit. No, pardon, not Braden Vanderheit. Luke
DeJalenardo, yeah.
DeJalenardo, yeah, exactly.
Looked like he was pondering a pitching change, maybe putting DeJalenardo in, but France is still in.
Yes, he is, as Keegan Isbell steps up to bat again. That's a strike, 1 strike. Very true what you said, Josh, about Isbell being very consistent with his 3 singles so far in this game. Three up to bats, 3 singles. Not bad for a hitter.
It's about as consistent as you could possibly be. Nothing terribly flashy, but certainly gets the job done. Been very valuable.
France trying to pick off Humphrey up into first base.
Yeah, no dice there. And this at-bat is going to be very important. I think it's going to set the tone for the remainder of this inning.
That's strike 2. France France getting it done.
If he can get out of here with a strikeout or an out of some sort, then that's going to put the Eagles in a solid position. 0 outs still at this point. But, man, if he lets Isbell get on base, then he's going to be in a perilous position with Carter Prina coming up right afterward.
Isbell gets a chunk of that ball. Fouls, though.
Humphrey really thought about going there. Probably made a wise move not to go. Would have not managed regardless. But I don't think if he had gone, that Raplian would have been able to. Or I think if he had gone, Raplian probably would have gotten him over at second. So wise decision by Humphrey to stay on first.
Very wise. You're up by 4. Don't really need to be too aggressive on the bases.
True, and with Isbell, you might just get a single regardless.
That's a ball. 1-2 count. As France takes on the Panthers. That's a swing and a miss.
Strikeout number 5 for France on the night, and that's easily a career high for number 24. Very impressive.
Very good night for him. Very good night for the junior. As he's kept things clean after that 1 run he let in the top of the 4th.
Prina now due up. He got struck out by France last time he was up.
Bit of a wild pitch.
And like I mentioned a minute ago, that'll go down as a ball, runner stays. Like I mentioned a minute ago, that last at-bat I think is going to play a big role in this inning. As now France is in a favorable position with just the runner on first here with 1 out. I think he can make do with this.
Swing and a foul. 1-1 count. Humphrey stays in the first base.
Prina's pretty good himself. He's the only other Panther to have multiple home runs with 3 on the season. 14 RBI, 14 hits. Could do some damage.
Pop fly. Will someone be able to get it? No, that's a foul.
Had a chance at tracking it down over by the Panther dugout.
Wasn't really in a position where you can grab that one, though.
Yeah, it just went over
Behind the
fence there.
dugout, yeah. 1-2 count now for Carter Prina.
France really taking his time here. Quite the contrast to Vanderheit, who is pitching at a really fast pace. France making sure to take his time, dial it in.
France keeping Humphrey in check in first base.
Yeah, that pickoff attempt was no good that time either.
And he goes for it again, and still unsuccessful. Keeping a good eye on him.
Yeah, well, with a hitter like Prina, there's some merit to that strategy because it keeps Humphrey close to the bag. And if Prina has a nice shot here, then that keeps Humphrey from potentially advancing to third.
That's another ball. 2-2 count.
France kind of having the opposite type of at-bat than he has previously, where he went up on strikes initially, and now he's compensating for it with some balls here and there. Down low again.
3-2 count.
Humphrey sticking pretty close to the ball over there, not more than 2 or 3 strides off.
Definitely does not want to get picked off.
He goes.
He's going to go running.
Doesn't matter, it's a walk.
It's a walk anyway, so. Another walk for France as Carter Prina makes it to first base. We got another mound meeting. Eric Stone getting another chat with his pitcher as it looks like he might be getting out as he. Yeah, he's going to be substituted out for
Luke DeGilinardo looks like.
Luke
so,
DeGilinardo.
who
is coming
we were
in.
talking about just a moment ago. And France does a nice piece of work here in this game. Only lets in 1 run. 5 strikeouts did exactly what it needed to do. Going to bring it to DeGilinardo here to get these last 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. It's probably a good move by Eric Stone here.
He definitely had that one in the play cards, as we saw after the first mound meeting. Luke kind of got a little bit out of the bullpen, out of the dugout. I mean, excuse me. Kind of seemed like he was ready to get going, but Coach told him, wait a little bit. We're gonna give him a couple more pitches, and that's what they did. And now he's up on the mound.
Yeah, warming up here, the left-handed pitcher. And, yeah, if I'm DeGilinardo, I think this is a great spot for him. If he can just dial in here for a couple of quick outs, then Dunlap will just have one final chance here in the bottom of the 7th, but it'll only be the 4 runs that they've been behind for the majority of the game, and not anything more, which surrendering more at this point would put that win almost surely out of reach.
Yeah, definitely. They are down by 4, 8-4. They were able to score 4 in the bottom of the 2nd, so we've seen them score 4 runs. We haven't seen it in quite a while, though. So definitely, if they concede any more runs, that win might be a little over the horizon at that point.
And they showed potential in the last inning for sure. Like if Vanderheit comes back out, he's going to be pretty fatigued. So they might be able to take advantage of that.
Yeah, definitely. Up to bat now, Lucas Price.
Gilnarder's all warmed up. We'll see what Price can do here as the batter.
Only 1 out so far. Hits it. Line drive center field. Gonna bring on Munoz. And that brings in
The run scored from Humphrey, yeah.
Humphrey, yeah.
Humphrey's
Brings in
going to get
Humphrey.
in, and that'll put Washington back on the board here, 9-4. And leaves runners on first and second with that RBI single. Good plate appearance there for Lucas Price.
Ball down low.
And now Jake Stewart. Man, this guy has been cooking all game so far with that double. His first time out, the 2 RBI triple with runners on first and second has a good chance of pulling something off big here for the Panthers against Luke DeGilinardo.
He's definitely had a very good night. That was a strike, 1-1 count.
Stewart biding his time here, letting a couple pitches go by, trying to feel out DeGilinardo. Couple of basketball players going against each other here. Both made some good runs for their respective basketball teams a couple months ago.
2-1 count now. Yeah, a lot of multi-sport athletes in the diamond tonight. Hits it to the left fan field. Little miss. Can't quite grab it. Aschbacher. And that's another run for the Panthers. That's number 9. Number 19, Keegan.
Keegan Isbell.
Keegan
gets in,
Isbell. Yes. He makes it back home.
Yeah. Jake Stewart did exactly what they needed him to do with an RBI single there. And that's going to put Washington into double digits.
A familiar name, Brandon Vanderheit, now up to bat. Gets a piece of that, but that's foul. 0-1.
Vanderheit's had an RBI single so far, although he struck out his last time up, although that was against Dante France. Now Luke DiGianardo up. Got a new pitcher to face. So we'll see what Vanderheit can come up with here. Pitcher against pitcher.
Swing and a miss for the second strike. Not the greatest start for Vanderheit. One
Still-
out. Go ahead.
Exactly. Still runners on first and second with one out. So Washington's still in an ideal position. You can scrap what I said a minute ago against that Isbell at bat, determining the rest of the inning, because Washington has really made some good contact.
Very good contact, especially with the pitching change.
Yeah, DiGianardo will throw that one in the dirt just barely.
1-2 count.
Shenanigans going over there at second base. No throw, though.
Hits it to the left-hand field. Oshbacher able to grab it. Fumbles a little bit. And another run is scored.
And Washington is just continuing to hammer away. Man, they've really found something here in the top of the seventh. Vanderheit with an RBI right there. A little bit of an error, though, by Ashbacker himself, and Vanderheit's on second. And we'll get Cox back out here to pinch run for Vanderheit, it looks like. So Garrett Cox will assume second, and also a runner on third, Jake Stewart.
Up to bat, Carson Williams, number 1. Center fielder for the Panthers.
Williams has not found a lot of success so far in this game. One of the few Panthers to not have an RBI thus far. Did get a single in his third at-bat. Fly-out, ground-out, strikeout have been the other 3. And that's what Luke DiGianardo wants, is another out right here. Still only a 1.
Hard hit down low. Not enough, though, as Carson Williams makes it safely to first base.
Another RBI, just like that.
Sending number 11, Jake Stewart, back home.
Yep, 12-4 now, and Washington's pretty much put this one away, barring a miraculous comeback in the bottom of the 7th by Dunlap.
Yeah, definitely. The game's definitely starting to get a little bit away from the Eagles as Raplian goes up to DiGianardo. Talk a little bit. Calm him down a little bit. So he's already led in 4 this inning. The high scoring inning for the Panthers so far.
More activity here in the Dunlap bullpen. Tough to make it out from here. Could have another pitching change momentarily.
Yeah, if he can't get another, if DiGianardo can't get another out with Gavin Lawrence up to bat now, we might be seeing a bit of a pitching change.
And Lawrence with that 2-run home run. Well, got a couple runners on here. First and third. Could make it a 3-run home run.
He's done it before. What makes you think he can't do it again?
Looked like a ball in the dirt there.
1-1 count.
Still only 1 out. Man, for Dunlap, they've been doing so well on defense these last couple of innings, and just falling apart a little bit right here.
Hard hit to left-hand field as Oshbacher gets that one again. Fumbles a little bit again with the ball. Bringing in another runner.
RBI double. Yet another one. Gavin Lawrence delivers right there for the Panthers. That makes it 13-4, I believe. The runners on second and third. And here comes Seckman. So we have batted around, I believe, in this inning.
We have Seckman last batter up this round at least, and looks like we'll get around the pitching order one more time. One 0 count. Two 0 count now. As the game slips away from the Eagles here at home. That's a strike. 2-1 count.
Yeah, just an unfortunate night for Dunlap. They really just didn't get started off on the right foot, letting in that run in the top of the first from Washington, and from there it just kind of snowballed. Really great second inning from them, but that's pretty much been all they've had to all they have to their name tonight. Some solid performances by France, but otherwise, yeah, Dunlap struggling.
3-1 count now. 'Cause, yeah, Washington's just been very consistent throughout this whole game. Even when it seemed like Dunlap were going to give a good fight out there, when they tied things up in the second, Washington just kept steamrolling ahead. That's a walk for Seckman as he makes his way to first base.
And here comes Eric Stone out to the mound. We'll have another meeting here. And man, Dunlap dire straits right now, trying desperately to get out of this.
That's a night for Luke DiGiulianardo. As we'll see who Eric Stone decides to bring up to the mound to hopefully finish out this inning.
Yeah, those Washington bats have just been going off. And just not the night. 13-4, Washington has scored in 5 of the 7 innings so far. The Panthers just doing what they do best, proving why they're the #1 ranked team in the Mid-Illini Conference.
Looks like Davis Weeks might be heading up to the mound. Number 17.
You're right.
The sophomore. One of the younger pitchers on this Eagles roster, right?
Yeah, as a sophomore to have some, obviously starting shortstop, leading off. So impressive for Weeks here. Good contribution to this Eagles team, and going to try to get them out of this trouble that they're in here in the top of the 7th.
Definitely.
Pitching for the Eagles, number 17, Davis Weeks.
So Weeks will warm up, right-handed pitcher now. As DiGiulianardo was a left-handed pitcher. But Weeks will warm up. Still got runners on the corners, it looks like.
Runners all around, actually.
Oh,
Got
you're right.
Yep.
Missed the runner on second. So, yeah, bases loaded. And still only one out.
Not the best situation for Weeks to be coming in, but we'll see if he can alleviate the situation a little bit. As he starts off with a ball. Number 7, Tyler Humphrey.
Humphrey's been walked in 2 of his 4 plate appearances. 2 strikeouts in the other 2. Feast or famine. He needs the opportunity to just continue to blow this game wide open depending on how this at-bat goes.
1-1 count. As Weeks looks to bring the Eagles back home. Bit of a wild pitch. No runners decided to take advantage of that, which it's kind of hard when you have a full plate.
Yeah, Raplian was able to keep it not within arm's reach, but within reach of home plate. So everyone stays on, still bases loaded. Some big leads right here.
3-1 count. Not exactly the start that Weeks was I'm sure, looking for. Definitely gives him less of a leeway now. So here are a couple of race cars out there. That's a hard hit out to right-hand field. And Wyman right there, ready for the second out. But allowing number 1 Carson Williams to score.
(14-4) now for Washington. And man, you can't really say much, can we? It's just Washington has poured it on here in the top of the 7th. 6 runs so far for them. And Dunlap is at 2 outs, but they can't get out of here fast enough.
Exactly. Keegan Isbell now. As the Panthers are now with 2 outs. That's a wild pitch, which is going to bring in another Panther for a 15-4 advantage.
And that'll leave just the 1 runner on second here. But yeah, Washington is just, they're clawing over the Eagles right now.
Like you said, just trying to get out of this inning. Get 1 more up to bat and maybe back to the drawing board.
Most runs now the Washington scored in a single game all season long. Put up 14 against Genoa, which was their record before tonight.
Now they got 15.
Indeed.
7 just in this inning alone. That's a hard hit to third baseman to first base for the 3rd out of the inning as the Eagles finally are able to get out of this one. That is with 7 more runs on their.
I'm not sure how much you could say get out because, yeah, it was not a great inning there for
Yes,
Dunlap.
exactly.
Now they
Well,
have a chance, I suppose, right? Never say never in baseball.
You never know what could happen. Of course, Vanderheit heading into his 7th inning of work, so he's going to be a little bit tighter, a little bit tired. Focus going to be maybe a little down. Those nighttime vibes starting to sink in.
Yeah, and an 11-run deficit for Dunlap is going to be tough to get out of.
Very tough to get out of. But we'll see. We'll see what Eric Stone, has to rile up his gentleman.
And impressive by Washington pitching staff has done exactly what they've needed to do tonight through Vanderheit. Had that 4-run second inning, but otherwise they've been just about as perfect as you can get.
Very impressive. After that, like you said, after the 4-run second inning, they were really able to just tighten up those bolts and just keep pounding out these incredible 0-run innings.
And although Washington is up by 11 runs, it's still not, there still is no qualification for a run rule because this all came in the 7th inning, so we'll have to play throughout the entire inning, which is just the last inning of the game regardless, so I'll get a full 7 innings in here for you. It's Dunlap batter coming up to the box. We'll see what the Eagles can do here.
Gabe Munoz up to bat for the Eagles as they look for some compensation runs.
Just to illustrate, most of Washington's batting lineup has been up 5 times at this point, and Gabe Munoz will round out the 3rd trip through the batting order for Dunlap. So Washington's put out a clinic.
Yeah, that's what happens when you go 3 up, 3 down. Don't really give much of your batters time to. Vanderheit starting off very quickly. 1-1 count.
Yeah, he has not slowed down this entire game.
Bit of a slow line drive to Diver as he picks that one up, and first out.
Yeah, Washington able to just scoop that one straight up, and 1 retired just like that in the bottom of the 7th. Going to bring up Weeks now, I believe, back to the top of the lineup.
Yep, Davis Weeks
See
coming
what the
up.
pitcher can do.
Swing and a miss to start off his fourth at bat, actually.
Pair of strikeouts so far for Weeks, and then a sac fly for him.
1-1 count. Bottom of the 7th. 1 out. And Vanderheit still pitching. 2-1 count now. That one connects to shortstop. First baseman Diver. Looks like he missed the ball a little bit as it went past him. That'll leave Weeks with the first base hit.
Got a base runner. That's the first step. Let's see where they can go from there with 1 out. Trevor Johnson coming on up to see what he can do for the Eagles.
Yeah, approach this with a little like baby steps mentality. Just try to do this to get to much bigger stuff. So we'll see what the Eagles continue to do. The ground, that's a low ball for Trevor Johnson.
Elsewhere in the Mid-Illini Conference, East Peoria got the 11-3 victory over Morton, so East Peoria gets another one there.
Foul ball. Doesn't seem like anyone caught that one.
And with East Peoria only being 1 game back from Washington entering tonight, a loss from Washington here would have tied them atop the Mid-Illini standings. But obviously Washington looking poised to collect the victory here and remain 1 game up. And this win will almost certainly solidify the gap.
Vanderheit up on his toes as he tries to pick off Weeks over there in first base. That's a strike. 1-2 count.
So Washington and East Peoria will almost certainly have an unattainable gap here from the rest of the field entering the remainder of the regular season.
Another foul. Yeah, Washington and East Peoria have really been two of the best in the Mid-Illini, and their records show it, and especially in this game today, they've definitely shown it.
Sure enough, both teams racking up over 10 runs apiece, with 11 for East Peoria, and then allowing less than 5 runs from their opponents. And Morton's a really good ball club. Dunlap a pretty good ball club as well. So a couple of standout performances here by these two teams tonight.
A hit as Diver tries to dive for that one. Looks like it might be a foul, though, so Trevor Johnson will stay up to bat for at least one more pitch.
We already briefly touched on Washington's upcoming schedule, Rochester, this Friday. And
Swing and a miss for Trevor Johnson, as that's the second out for the Eagles. And Vanderheit
just cooking.
Yeah, exactly. Looking to get home a little earlier tonight.
Yeah, and Washington poised for a good, solid week of baseball upcoming here, so really a good chance to accelerate into the postseason with a good start to their momentum tonight.
It's up to third base. Diver grabs it. Was it in time? And it was, as the fans start getting up from their seats as this game ends 15-4. Washington takes this one, takes the second game of the week as they took the first one 3-1 back at their home grounds.
Yeah, much higher scoring affair here tonight.
Very different game. Yes, exactly.
And Washington, they had enough offense when it mattered. They had enough defense when it mattered, and they get to break out the brooms here for the sweep against the Dunlap Eagles. For Dunlap, they're going to have a little bit of work to do. They're going to have to rebound from this one heading into the weekend, but they can do it. They're a very explosive ball club. They have the ability to turn their momentum around the drop of a dime. So we'll see what they can do moving forward, but just an absolute dominant performance by Washington tonight.
A great performance by Washington, especially at this late stage of the game, as we head closer and closer to playoffs. And as we mentioned, Dunlap's next game is against Springfield Senators. They have a 7-game winning streak, so that'll be a very difficult game to try to rebound on. So we'll see what they do this Saturday at 10 a.m. And it's been a great one, Josh, calling this game here in Dunlap, Illinois.
It may have not been a terribly close game towards the end, but it was certainly an exciting night of baseball all around. Got some great pitching and some interesting moments. Obviously, you had some great hitting throughout the night. And when it's all said and done, Washington, a little bit of a rout here. So Panthers just proven why they're the best in the Mid-Illini Conference.
Definitely, and everyone listening, thank you for thank you for listening. We're not a video stream this time, just listening. So thank you very much for spending your night watching some Mid-Illini baseball. As the Panthers get another win against the Eagles, I'm Rodrigo Perez alongside Joshua Messenger. We say so long, farewell, and goodbye.